Welcome back. You're watching HFO-TV.
Good morning. About 7 years ago, when I started working on modular construction, I was met with a lot of blank stares. And I feel like here I am 7 years later talking about modular construction and looking at a lot of blank stares. So not a lot's changed. Modular construction, kind of a brief history. So modular construction's been around for 40 years. I talked with my father-in-law, who's an architect in Reno, and he remembers when he got out of architect school, the next big trend in the 70s was modular construction. So this is not something that's new to the industry. It's not something that's just recently been introduced. However, now it is widely integrated throughout US and Canada. There are modular factories throughout the entire US. They're not just localized in Oregon and Idaho, but they are throughout the entire US, shipping modular units as far north as the northern territories in Canada and Alaska. Currently, modular construction is used to build hotels, apartments, townhouses. We've even done some assisted living facilities with them. So the question you guys are looking at is, why should we care about modular construction? It all sounds great, but what does it mean to us? Cost savings. So as we all know in multifamily development, saving money on the front end is going to assist us in the long run. Build time savings. Modular construction saves between 20 and 30% of your build time on your project. It allows units to get to market faster, and it allows you to start leasing up your buildings faster. Consistency of the product. As we all know in Oregon, you hit now and you start running into rain. The product that you're building, your first floor, your second floor, your third floor, all look a little bit differently when you get done with them, given the fact that you're dealing with the market conditions, you're dealing with the weather. Modular construction is built in a factory. They're dry. You don't have to worry about some of the things that we deal with in Oregon on the development side. Local market conditions for labor. As Amy just mentioned, we are in a very tight labor market. One of the biggest challenges that we all have on the construction development side is finding the subs, finding the people that can work on your project and do it in a cost-effective manner. And then the quicker marketing of the units. As I'll show you a little bit later on, when the modular units arrive from the factory, they're done. The day they ship and set on site, you can walk people through their finished apartments. It's very unique, something very different as you're going to marketing your units. A little bit of a how-to. So one of the things that modular is a little bit different is you've got a state versus a local. For modular construction, your site work, everything through your foundation is local. So here in the city of Portland gets to look at everything through your sill plate. From that point on, the city of Portland doesn't get to come on your job site. I don't really like that. It's been a little bit of a challenge. However, for all of us, as we know, it makes our life a lot easier when you don't have the local city inspectors on your job every day. Sill plate through the rest of the finish is all monitored by the state. State's used to this. They do a lot of these projects. They're very familiar with it. And typically what you find is the same people that are looking at your building plans are the ones that are actually on site inspecting. A little bit different. A little local jurisdictional challenge. City of Portland on our project asked us to go sequential. They asked us to go to the state, get our permit, and then submit to the city. Well, as we know, the city has their own challenges. They want to see stuff that the state doesn't want to see. So they make you resubmit to the state. It's a little bit of a learning curve to the city of Portland because they haven't had a lot of these projects, hasn't had to go through. As we went through the city of Taiga and the city of Vancouver, they allow us to go parallel. Much preferred, much faster process. City and the states work together to try to figure out how to get these things completed. 13 decoms. So this is actually the first apartment building that we built in Oregon here. It's a 3-story building. We finished it last year. Some of the finished pictures, as you can see, a little bit boxy, but they look like normal apartments. I think this is the thing that most people have a misconception about modular is, are they going to look like every other apartment that someone's going to go look at from a rental standpoint? Our building started in the factory in Boise in January of 2016. Our site work actually didn't start till April 1st of 2016. 4 weeks after we started site work, our boxes were set, and 6 months after starting site work, we were finished and leased up. So from a timeline standpoint, it's a much quicker timeline to market than you see in traditional construction. If you haven't seen modular, I think it's very hard to visualize it, so I have a little video that I think will hopefully show you a little bit better than I can describe it. So as you can see, go from foundation through the roof in 48 hours. Significantly different than what you're normally out there seeing in the market. I think as we talked to people in the neighborhood, I think they were amazed as they had not driven by the property, and 3 days later they said, wait a minute, where'd the building come from? In pictures, so modular is a little bit in the factory. So one of the things that you see is, again, everything's being done in a completely dry environment. As it goes down the line, all of your trades are in. It looks like normal construction. It feels like normal construction. There is no true difference other than where the construction is put together. The units are shrink wrapped, so you don't have to worry about weather. So you can build your boxes. They can go sit in the yard for 3 weeks, 4 weeks, 6 weeks. They are not affected by the weather. And again, you can put modular to use significantly higher than our 3-story building. Lease up, again, on the multifamily side, this is kind of where we all look at it. We set boxes. So that video was set the first week of May, 2016. We had our units completely staged by June 15th. All of our websites, pictures, we were actually able to use the actual pictures of the units people were going to be living in, as opposed to an architectural rendering or some other picture. Unit ended up being 28 units. We had 19 units leased and moved in day 1. We had 26 units leased and moved in December 15th. So from the first 90 days, we hit 90% occupancy and allowed us to go straight from construction financing to Fannie Mae. Completely skipped a step, which is kind of nice. It's not all roses. There are some challenges in modular construction, just like anything in the construction world. You're limited. So these things are getting shipped down a highway. You have a 15-foot wide limitation. You have a 72-foot to 76-foot in length limitation. You can stack your boxes in different ways. You can create hallways, but you are limited architecturally. It's a little bit boxy feel. You're shipping boxes, so it's going to feel boxy. You can get away with that. You can modify it. You can do some different details on the architectural side on the front of your buildings to create some depth. So there are some different things depending on what the final product you're looking for is. Banking. It's really key to have a good banking partner. The banks like this product because you don't have weather delays. You don't have weather challenges. You have a faster lease up. You have some of those things that we all struggle with and want to find in the multifamily world. On the flip side, the banks lose a lot of control because you're basically taking 70% of your product. It's being built in a warehouse, being shipped on site, and you've got to figure out how to make sure the banks fund that even though your product's not on site yet. So a little bit different with that, and it's something that luckily we worked with Northwest Bank, able to overcome all those things, but it was a definitely big learning process, and I would recommend if this is something you're interested in, that you start this process very early on. Permitting, as I mentioned earlier, our long-term goal is to get the city of Portland to be parallel. It's easier said than done. So it's kind of working through some of those processes. To me, modular construction, it's a no-brainer. It's established. It's used extensively nationally, just not locally. There are cost savings in the face of a lot of the local challenges that we're facing in Portland with the cost of construction. Banking and permitting challenges, they can all be overcome. And the quicker lease-up period to the marketability of the unit allows for you to go to perm financing and for the sale of the buildings to happen on a quicker timeline. Thank you.
Our entire office specializes in multifamily real estate, making HFO the largest multifamily brokerage in the Pacific Northwest. Your success is our passion. Build your legacy with HFO. Call 503-241-5541 or visit our website at hfore.com for more information.